So I ended up going to Starbucks again just to have a good little start to my morning with a little salted croissant and my white mocha, of course. And I had to go to the one across the street because it's my favorite one by far. And a little bit after, I decided to go to Burger King at night because I just kind of walked around this day. I hadn't had a day to just walk around the other side of my area, and it was really fun. The Burger King was really, really good. I can say for one thing, Korea knows how to make a good burger, and it was really, really good, and it did not disappoint. I also had to get a little sundae because why the fuck not? I also had to lower the volume on this volume because the fan that I had there was actually really powerful. And this is the spoon they gave me. I just had to bend it, and I guess that's how I used it. I guess they're all about recycling here. So I totally meant to film myself because I got this. Um, I got this nail kit because I went to go get a manicure at one of the salons when I got my pedicure with Ricky, and this place in particular didn't do manicures. They only did gel nails, and so I had been debating on whether I wanted to actually just do gel nail and then just take them off when I got back home. But I should have done it when I first landed, and I would have been totally fine because I would have been 2 weeks with gel nails, and then I would have to take them off when I get home for work. But at this point, it's not worth it. So I was gonna go out and look for a place that did a manicure, but I was just like, you know what? I can just go and get this from Olive Young. And so I got this little nail kit from Olive Young and basically did my own little manicure, and they look really cute. I shaped them because they were more of like not an almond shape, but my nails have like more of like this just like kind of rectangle shape naturally. So I did a little bit of a almond, shaped them to an almond shape. They're not perfect, but I liked them. It was kind of calming and relaxing. Sorry, there's like lotion underneath my nails still. But what's it called? Yeah, it was really calming, relaxing. I just kind of been watching YouTube videos here because after having my little Burger King, I was kind of tired, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go home and relax because tomorrow I'm going to Itaewon and walking around and going to a really cute cafe called Cafe Kieri. They look like they have really cute like cakes, and so there'll definitely be more then. But I just totally forgot to film me doing my nails. I was gonna totally film this and while I did it, but it is what it is. It would have been boring to watch anyways. But yeah, what's it called? I'm not really sure when I'm supposed to take these out. Take these off. I'm sure they can just come off, but I don't know if they were like my scars that I had from my other surgery that I haven't talked about yet, and I will. But they were supposed to just naturally fall off. So I don't know if these. I know that this one. I think this one is like hanging on by a thread. Oh, maybe it's this one. I don't know. One of these I know is like really loose, but they didn't really give me. So I went to toxin fill again this time, and that'll be another story time on like the procedure I got from them. But I almost did kind of regret not doing it with Ricky. Because I guess this will be a story time. How about that? We'll turn this into a little story time with me in bed, because why the hell not? So basically, when we first landed, Ricky had his consultation for his for his procedure that he was getting, which he got. They went through his under eye. They basically opened up his under eye and did a wow. My eyeballs are kind of puffy. Anyways, sorry, distracted. They opened up his under eye through the inside of his eye and basically moved some fat around and basically injected him with some filler here to remove his under eye bags. He also got 5 threads on his face on each side, and he got Botox everywhere. And yeah, so when he was going to do his procedure, I asked them for a quote for basically Botox all over, basically really in the bunnies, the forehead, and the eyes. And then in the lip to do a lip flip, plus filler and filler. And they were gonna charge me around $675 for all that USD. It was gonna be like 800 and something thousand Korean won. And I thought it was expensive at the time because I was like, I remember when I got my filler last time, it was super inexpensive. It was Botox all over my forehead, my bunnies, and then here as well, was only came out to $36. Now, 2 years ago, the Korean won, I think, had a little dive. And I think we went around the time when that little dive happened, or when it was like just barely starting to go back up. So it might have been that. But I think also it's probably because I believe Botox here is cheaper than a lot of places, but filler is still expensive. So actually that was a really good deal, because what I ended up paying was around $650 for just my under eye, and then Botox. And I didn't get my lip flip or my filler in my lip. But I also think that it would have been a little bit more, because I don't think they expected to use as much filler as they did, like the Toxin Fill clinic did. So basically, when I went to Toxin Fill, which is a local, like kind of franchised plastic surgery, well, it's not, it's like dermatology center, and basically they specialize in Botox and filler, but they do have other treatments. Basically when I went there this time, it was the vibe was different, let me tell you. First of all, when I went last time, I loved the place. The people were very welcoming. The doctor that I consulted with was super sweet, super kind. Like she like explained everything. Like she was just really nice. And this time, I don't know if it was the time of day. I don't know, because I did go a little bit, well, no, because I went late on both times. So I think it was just, I don't know, something changed in the last 2 years. And basically it wasn't as warm and welcoming. It felt very cold and procedural. Even though it took forever to get me in. Like I walked in last time, and we only waited like 30 minutes, and then I was able to, we were able to consult and do it, because they do walk-ins. So this time the lady basically was like, yeah, we can try to squeeze you in, give us 30 minutes and we should be able to get to you. And I was like, fine. Well, it took about an hour before I was consulted, and the only reason why I was consulted in that time, because I probably would have waited longer, was because one of the gentlemen, who super sweet, he was kind. The girls who checked me in, they seemed very catty and kind of just like, I don't know, it looked like they were very judgy. Anyways, but so Peter basically stopped in the middle of the floor and was like, hey, have you been helped yet? And I was like, I'm waiting to be helped. And he was like, oh, give me 1 second. And he was like, he went back to the counter, asked me my last name, or he asked me if my name was Phoenix. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not, whatever. So he looked and he was like, what are you here for? And I told him what I was there for. And he was like, okay. He was like, let me see what we can do. He was like, I'm really sorry it took so long. And I was like, or it's taking so long. I was like, okay. And so then he basically came back and was like, hey, I'm going to use the restroom real quick, but I'll help you once I'm done with the restroom. I was like, that's fine, whatever. I've been waiting this long. Another 5 minutes is going to kill me. So anyways, he comes back and he was like, okay, let's go consult. You were talking about like how I was there 2 years ago. He couldn't find any record of me being there 2 years ago, which is odd. But basically he was like, I'm really sorry about the wait. I'm not quite sure why you were waiting so long. He was like, everybody just decided to come in. He was like, we are super busy right now. He was like, but I'm not sure why you were waiting that long. And he was like, I basically was on lunch and saw you, waiting for a really long time. And so basically he just washed up and came back on the floor. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, you can go eat your lunch. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to stop you from eating your lunch. And he was like, no, it's okay. I'm already here. So anyways, long story short, he checked me in. And then I had to go downstairs, wash my face. And basically I didn't consult with the doctor this time because technically I had already had a consultation, and I already knew what basically the benefits and the risks were about everything. And he just went over the risks of the filler. So yeah, went downstairs. They have such a beautiful, like, I will say that their clinic is really pretty. Although this time I did go to the downstairs because the toxin field that I went to is on, I think it's 415 something something in Gangnam. And because they have, like I said, it's franchise, so they have multiple locations. And the one I went to is really cool. But they have 2 floors. They have the 10th floor and the 11th floor. And the 10th floor, I think, is a little bit, was probably like their first location, or for their first, yeah, setup in that building. And then the 11th floor, I think they expanded to, because the 11th floor is a lot more modern and a lot more new, because that's where I did my first round of Botox. And that clinic area is really, really pretty. It looks like I guess like a really pretty upscale hotel. And I'm sorry, I didn't have any footage in there just because for privacy reasons, people are getting Botox and fillers, and there was a lot of people there, so I didn't want to like bust anybody out if, like, you know, I don't know, for whatever reason. But basically they took me to the 10th floor, and I had to do all my stuff there, which the 10th floor, yeah, like you can say, like I said, it seems older. It's not as nice. It's still pretty, but it definitely is outdated. And so, yeah, so I washed my face. They took some pictures of me before and after, or before, and then they took me to the doctor, and the doctor sat me down and was basically just kind of consulting with what I wanted. And so we got started. So once we started, though, it was super funny because basically I could see the doctor. I really appreciated her because you could tell she has a very meticulous eye. Like, she was kind of like looking at everything and kind of expecting. Oh, they did numb me too. They one of the things was I had to be covered in like numbing cream from basically here up. And I did that for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then they called me back and I was ready to go. And then they kind of wiped me down or whatever. But so then she started with my forehead Botox, which was fine. Botox, I will say it hurts. It's not like it's not a walk in the park, but it's not that bad. It's not horrible. And then, sorry, my hand is getting tired. So then she was like, okay, we're done with the forehead Botox. And she was going to start with the eye Botox, but she was like, oh, wait, she's like, I forgot you're getting filler. She's like, let me do the fillers first, and then I'll come back and do the under eye Botox, or the side Botox on the eyes. So we did the bunnies, we did all this. So she then basically numbed me. She marked me in this location, in these little, that's what these little things are. That's what started this whole conversation, was basically she marked me here and here with a little pen, and then she numbed me. She gave me two shots of numbing. And I think she did that before she started on my forehead to give it some time. And then she came back to it and basically didn't feel really too much of anything. Like, it became really numb very quickly. And so she was doing her thing, and I could tell she was getting nervous for some reason. And I was like, she's like, uh-oh. And I was like, uh-oh. You do not want to hear an uh-oh during your fucking, just anything, okay? Nothing. Like, no type of surgical procedure, no type of, I was like, what the fuck? Like, am I having a bad reaction? Like, I was just, because like I said, it's numb, so I can't feel anything. Like, I'm like, what is happening? So I can hear them, like, they call they have like these little, oh shit. They have these little headsets that they wear, kind of like remote controls, and they basically were like they called my interpreter Peter, because he had stepped away because he helps like a lot of the English speaking clients, I guess. He was really cool. He's from Wisconsin or whatever, but anyways, so yeah, they get him in, but somebody else comes in instead, because I guess he was helping somebody else. So this other nurse lady walks in, and she was like, so the doctor is saying that your under eye is very wide and there's a lot missing, like it's very sunken in, which I know, like that was been one of my biggest things that I do not like about my face, is how sunken in my under eye has gotten. With age, I think that's the one thing that can be a telltale sign of how old I actually am. And so I mean, I know there's a lot of younger people who have sunken under eyes too, so whatever. Anyways, the point is, she was like, we're using a lot more filler than we normally would on somebody typically, because normally you would do 1 cc of filler between both under eyes. She was like, we've done most of this side and we're at 3/4 of the cc's instead of half. And I was like, okay. So they're like, so we're probably gonna have to open another one. We might not use it all though. So just know that you'll be paying for another cc of fillers, but you might not get it all into your face. And I was like, that's fine, whatever. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, you already done one side. Like, I'm gonna have like a wonky ass like half filled and then like halfway filled. Like, no, I'm just gonna have to suck it up and pay the money. So when you go get filler, be prepared for that. Like, if they need to use more, you might pay more. So don't go in thinking you have a certain set amount. I would say a certain set amount, double that, just in case they need to use double the amount. But anyways, so yeah, so I agreed to it. She did it. It was really painless. Like, there was only one side that she got me when she was doing this side, and I think it was like up here, and it hit something, and I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, it hit something really weird, and I was like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. It did cause me to like kind of flinch, and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I was like, it just felt weird, and she's like, yeah. And she did warn me that it would feel a little weird, and it does. It feels weird. You hear it too. You hear like when she's injecting, you hear that. So it's like interesting. Sorry, I just got a notification that Jungkook is releasing a new song. What the fuck? Hello. We'll have to read that later. Anyways, the other funny thing is that while I was getting this, I have a really, really hard time staying still when I'm expected to stay still. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. So the biggest thing was you have to, like, obviously you're getting needles in your eyes, like around your eyes, like you probably should stay still. But when I'm forced to stay still, if I don't focus on my breathing or focus on something else, I have these like tremors, like my whole body will shake. Like I literally will just be sitting there and I'm just like you just see my face move like that. And it's, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's my body trying to fight being confined. But I know that it happens when I need to stay really, really still, like no matter what. So I usually focus on my breathing and I usually can go through it. But one time, and I think it might have been the time when I felt that I lost focus of my breathing, and I did do a slight tremor right when she was about to go back in with the thing, and she's like, and she stopped and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, that happens sometimes, like if I feel too like confined. And she's like, okay. And I could tell she was kind of nervous to go back in, but I was like, I'm fine, like I promise I won't do it again. So she did it. And that was the only time, but I was like, stop doing that. Like I get so like, I think anxious and like worried that I'm gonna move, that my mind gets the better of me. But anyways, after that, the results were really good. Like, I mean, I don't have that sunken in anymore. Like, it's really, really nice. Like, I basically had to tell myself, like, great, now you have to save up whatever it's gonna be to do this on a regular basis, which I think they say it lasts about 3 to 6 months. So I'm like, fuck, now I have like 3 months to save up another, I don't even know how much it's gonna be in the US, because allegedly from what I was reading online, it's usually $700 to $1,000 per cc, and my ass has to use 2 of them. I'm hoping that some of it will stay, some of it will go, and so like I'll have to only get 1 cc this time, because that will be a very expensive maintenance to upkeep. And now that I've seen myself with it, like I'm just no way I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna either have to start working some more hours or something's gonna have to happen, because yeah, it is something that I'm not gonna be able to live without. Because look at this, like so that's the one thing me and my mom had a discussion about, was that whenever she sees me, she's always like, you look so tired. And I'm like, no, Mom, that's just the way I look, because my under eye is so sunken in. And it's just unfortunate. Like, it's just really unfortunate thing. And that's something like you can't control. Like, there's nothing I could do. There's no like eye cream or anything like that will like, you know, help with the the hollow eye, under eye. So the good news though was because I did tell Paul Peter that I was gonna do the same surgery that Ricky did, and he told the doctor about the procedure I was gonna do, and she said that it wasn't um that it probably could hold off for probably a few years before I actually needed to do that. But it doesn't make sense because how am I gonna use 2 cc's of filler, but it's not that bad to where I need to get the surgery? So I'm like, well, what you mean? Like, are you just trying to get me back here for 2 years so that I could keep spending the double the amount that it normally would be, or what's happening? So I guess that's good news, but it was an interesting experience. I will say, like, I don't know if I'll go back to that location again. I'm not sure. I think I would have to think about it. I honestly, now knowing the cost, I think I would just rather go back to CDU, is where Ricky got his work done, and they were going to charge me $650 for lip lift, filler in the lip, because I wanted to fill the sides of my lips, just to give it a little bit more volume, because when I turn to the side, like, this is the only place that has volume. This is like gone. And when I smile, this leaves, so they're gonna do like a little lip flip to pull them up a little bit so that there's still some lip remaining. But yeah, so I honestly, looking back, I should have just done it when Ricky got there, because then I would have had this look for all of my pictures and all the things that I've done, which, I mean, it is what it is at this point. But yeah, that is the end of my story time. I'm so sorry this went a lot longer than I thought it would be. So yeah, moral of the story is just do go with the best option. What's it called? Do your research first, because if I had done my research first and had gone to Toxinfill to get a quote about how much it would be, and then versus how much it was at Ricky's place, I probably would have just gone with Ricky's place. But now also I know that it's going to take 2 cc's of filler, so I can also go back to the place that Ricky was and get a re-estimate before I leave, just to see if it would still be about $650 or if it would be about $850, which $850 still wouldn't be that bad, but who knows. Anyways, thanks for listening to my rant. If you're still here, I appreciate it. I know that was a lot, but yeah, what's it called? I am super happy with my results, and if you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. I am an open book when it comes to plastic surgery, because I've had a lot of work done. So yeah, let me know. Bye guys.